Yeah, Raj, if we can meet in my Zoom room after,
Yeah.
how about something exciting to pass by.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds like a plan. And
Yeah,
we're
we got.
live.
We are live. Yeah, we are live. Yay! Well, welcome everyone to the Coaching to Flourish podcast. I am your host, John Andrew Williams. Today, I'm here with Raj Anderson. Welcome back, Raj. We've missed you the last couple of weeks. Has it been 2 weeks or one? It feels like a while.
It's been 2 weeks, but I'm excited to be here today, John. I've missed everyone.
Here we are, and it's yay! So we're back. We're live. We have 30 minutes Q&A, and yeah, I feel like I'm primed. I've been it's been a good week of research and getting back into all these kinds of things. I had a chance to lead the 2.0 class last week, which was amazing, and I have some insights from that I'd love to share. But I think we should get into uh, yeah, Raj. So how are you, Raj? Like, how is life? The biggest insights over the last couple of weeks, and then let's get to our Q&A.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really good. Um, I had some corporate projects and things that I was working on. I also ended up sick with COVID at the beginning of the year, and it was insightful for me. I was journaling and thinking about what did illness or COVID teach me, and I think it will come up in some of the things and questions we're going to explore today. And biggest message I had for myself, and I've shared this before, was grace. And it actually gave me space to did some binging on Netflix and then reading and some creativity. But I'm feeling great now. I'm back in good health and I'm excited to be here and just explore these questions with you, John.
Good stuff. Good stuff. It's nice. You got to have a little break. You got to have a real break.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just sad that
There's a
it takes
blessing in it.
something like COVID to make that happen, but that's just not unusual.
There was a blessing in it.
hmm
So,
hmm
shall I ask you the first question? See what
Let's
your
jump
thoughts
in. Let's
are?
do it.
Shall we jump
Yeah.
into it?
hmm
Okay, so we've had a question sent to us, and I'm excited to see your view on this, John. The question from one of our coaches is, I want to move my health and wellness coaching business into an organization setting. And how do you suggest that I start to make that shift?
hmm hmm the This is a common thing that's happened in the last 2 years, especially with the pandemic, and has accelerated the trend. And it's not uncommon for, let's say, a coach to work with the owner or CEO of an organization, and as a coach, and have good results, and then the owner eventually says, this is great. Let's bring you in to work with this other group of people, and then not that's the usual pathway that these things happen. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, you've it's happened for you in this way. So, Raj, this is your story. Do you want to tell your story on how it worked for you, and where the some of the things you have going on?
Yeah, so I was thinking about this question, and I mean, I do executive coaching and women in leadership coaching, diversity and inclusion, but I think the same kind of things apply with health and wellness. And I mean, I share a little bit about how I went about it. And I got 3 points here as I was thinking about it. And I think number one that I really wanted to share, because this is some of the background when I was really thinking about launching coaching in organizations, what I would say to anyone is A, do your research. So if you're really thinking about health and wellness coaching in an organization, I don't know what that might look like for an individual. You've talked about maybe they're working on a one-on-one with an exec, but they want to broaden it out. Really thinking about what does health and wellness mean to an organization. And there's lots of data and information out there on return on investment as well. And for me, the important point was making connection points with the organization. So, for example, if you've got an organization in mind, what's already happening in their organization around where they take care of their employees? Or how might you connect this to their values? They might have specific values around taking care of employees, or they might be running employee resource groups. One of the things that I like to do is make connections with their organizational development strategy or their employee resource groups on family or diversity and inclusion. So really thinking about what are organizations looking for? How do you connect it? What is the return on investment? And there's lots out there. I'm sure you know about it, John, around, you take care of your staff, they will take care of your clients, improve productivity, reduce sickness rates, all of those things. But the most important thing for me in my story is to think about how can you leverage your connections and start to have conversations with people. I mean, the toughest thing for me when I moved from the UK to the US was I didn't have any connections. I really did not know anybody here. And in the UK, when I had chosen that I wasn't going to work, full-time in the National Health Service anymore, and I wanted to launch my own coaching business or organization, I could have picked up the phone to someone and said, hey, do you know of anyone who's looking for a coach, or what might be a way in to an organization? I could have picked up the phone to a HR lead or a learning lead or a diversity and inclusion lead. And I found myself moving to the US, and that suddenly kind of on my own, drifting around on social media. So one of the courageous things I had to do was start to going to events and networking and physically leaving my house and speaking to people. And my husband's business, actually, where he works in that organization, they did lots of different kinds of events, and he would invite me along because they were in Miami. We were living in Miami at the time. And I went along and started speaking to people and actually connected with an exec who was at the event. We started talking about coaching and our common interests, and that opened a lot of doors for me that way. So we've got A and B. B, leveraging your connections, having those conversations. And then C, for me, before going to those network events, was being intentional. So the C is really thinking about what is the offer or what is the proposal? Like, what problem are you? I know coaches, we coach the client, not the problem, but with an organization, you do need to think about what is a problem that you might be solving for them. And really thinking about, does it link to diversity and inclusion? Does it link to improved productivity? Does it link to talent retention? So really think about your proposal in those 3 key points and areas. So I'm talking quite a lot today, John. What are your thoughts on what I'm saying?
That you're right. It's right on. That's the idea. And I think that the things I see in getting, so I come at from 3 different angles. One, the executive clients I've worked with, and I have worked as an executive coach within an organization, and I was hired by basically a coaching organization to work with another organization, and then I was basically the coach that was delivering the value. And from that perspective, I didn't have to do any of the sales. I just was given the clients, but I had to make sure that the clients were happy is the general idea. And it was successful. Like I enjoyed it. The clients enjoyed it. It moved it forward. This was back in 2000. I want to say 2009, 2010, when I was getting deeply involved in this. So that was one perspective there. Another perspective is the work that we've done with other organizations like Roche and Genentech, where we have trained dozens of people in their organizations to be coaches. How that came about, and then the other thing is like being running this Coach Training EDU organization, knowing what it's like firsthand to run an organization. Those are the 3 perspectives I'm playing with. And I find myself bouncing between those 3. Listening to your story at the same time. And I think the main takeaway from all of those experiences is that there is a high degree of trust that has to be placed in you as a coach if the owner or the stakeholder is going to invite you into that program, that it's I mean, they just want to make sure that you're not going to make it harder for them. And that anytime you bring someone in from the outside, there is a chance that you, as an outsider, will make it harder on the stakeholder. That if there's any way that you can speak directly to that, because as that's going on in everyone's mind, like 100%. And if you can speak directly to it from the beginning and say, look, I know that this is going to be a leap of faith. How can we craft a project or a program so we could test drive this, so you can go with, so you know with confidence that it works, and I know with confidence that it's going to work. What's the minimum product that we can offer here that we can test and make sure that coaching is for your organization? If you're speaking in that language, then like they will say, right on, yeah, I'm all about testing stuff and trying to see if it works and doesn't work. And it's also helpful to have a very clear, this is exactly what we're going to be doing. Like, this is what I offer as a coach. This is what I do. This is what I don't do. It's not like coaches who, employees who suddenly get a coach, all like, what if they start following their dreams and all decide to go and, do other things? That would be horrible for the stakeholder or the owner. So you have to be very clear around, is this going to be just general life coaching, or is it going to be coaching with, am I really, what's the point? Am I at the complete discretion of the client, or are we keeping this around business terms? What are some of the outcomes that we want from coaching? Organizations that are healthy and strong would welcome if employees want to leave and do other things. That's part of life. Go, and they would also want people to be on the team that are really, they're in it. They're like, are they in with the mission of the organization? So there's a lot behind offering this to organizations. You have to really put yourself into the stakeholder or owner's position, who is paying you to do the coaching. And at the same time, you have to also be able to lean into the ethics and best practices of, when you are working with a client, it's 100% confidential. Even though you're being paid by the owner and stakeholder, you're not working for them in that moment. You're working for your client. There are ethics and best practices in place to protect you as a coach, so that you can tell the owners, hey, this is what's happening. This is your perspective as a coach. There's a lot of groundwork that needs to be laid before you're going to be invited into an organization. And you have to take some deep breaths and say, okay, are you willing to do this groundwork? And if you are, then build the processes and programs to basically educate the owners, to let them know that you know what you're doing, they can trust you. And that would be how I'd move forward on this.
Yeah, absolutely agree, John. And I really like the point that you're making about testing it out, because that's how actually I got more work. My initial offer in 2020 with one of the corporations I work with is that we did a pilot. Let's test it out. Did a pilot program for a year. And then we built off of that in 2021. And we had some mini pilot programs, which then you build off of once you see the results, or you tweak it. So I really like your suggestion around testing and piloting things.
That's it. I mean, it's almost like I think it doesn't make sense. Yeah. Unless the stakeholder knows, no, we just want executive coaches, or we want wellness coaches to come into this organization, and I know the value of coaching. But I think you still have to do some education, some prospect education before, that's just what you're signing up for when you're signing up to be a coach, because the market doesn't yet know all about life coaching. There's a lot of misconceptions about it, so you have to be comfortable dealing with those misconceptions.
Okay, thanks, John. Should we move on to the next question?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay, it's a bit of a question. First bit is a bit of a statement as well. So 2 years into the pandemic and the new rise of Omicron, both my clients and myself are struggling with pandemic and anxiety fatigue. Any suggestions on how to best handle this and navigate the topic as a coach while dealing with my own struggles?
Oh, it's rough. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I feel like everyone's hanging on. Yeah, I don't know. Uh, I don't know. Everyone's. I don't. I feel like we're doing. Our family is doing relatively well, and it doesn't mean that it's easy. The thing that I find for myself is you have to find your team, you have to find your support system, your people. One of the things I feel very very grateful for is the strength of the team at Coach Training EDU right now. It's it's exciting, it's fun. It feels like we were just reviewing the number of projects that we completed in 2021 and doing just looking at a post project analysis, and we're planning out the rest of 2022. And I think having gratitude for what you did accomplish in 21, and then looking forward to having very specific goals for what you want to accomplish in 2022 that align with the current conditions makes a very big difference. What I mean by this is historically, after any pandemic, historically, there's a flourishing of culture. Why? Because culture has been asked to do something that's very, very tough. And that brings a certain level of toughness and resilience and power if you can make it through. And I was talking to, there was one person, website marketing person I was speaking with early on in this whole process. And he said, you know, this is the time when, anytime there's a huge disruption like this is the time when people like, this is the time to make it. Like, this is the time to take the current challenges and ask, what can I do here that after this ends, I'll be in a position to be in a place of flourishing. This, for me, and like dealing with our teenagers and little ones, a lot of it is what's the skill set that you can develop individually, so that you know, and we're thinking things like learning to practice the piano, putting together your program, doing the research on developing, you know, the program, or all the things that take a lot of solo, intense, deep thinking. That's what's available right now. So go, like, align your goals with the current conditions. That's what we've been doing for the last 2 years, and it's working. Like, it is totally working. Like, where we're going to be in the next 3 to 6 months from now is it's exciting, and I feel like the level of growth that we're experiencing is it's not showing so much outwardly yet, but it's starting to, and it will. And it's having that vision of, this is where I want to be. Like, this is where I want to be in 3 months. This is where I want to be in 6 months. It's having that space so clearly defined that the present tense circumstances or challenges don't make as much sense as the vision of what you're going towards. And this is the real use of a goal. It's not so much that you get where you're going to. That's amazing. That's helpful. But it's the you know, your goal and vision is useful when you feel your present tense emotion change. And goal setting, that kind of stuff, people often are adverse to it because they feel like in the past they've been disappointed. They don't want to go into it. It's work. It doesn't feel like you're actually, like, you know, sometimes putting clarity on these goals doesn't feel like it's that necessary because, well, I know what I need to do anyway. It's really clear to me. My goal is so clear to me. I don't need to write it down. Or this idea, of course I'm going for it. Write it down, plan it, vision it, see it. I've lived month to month for years, like, with lawn furniture being our lawn, you know, we had a wicker deck furniture as our dining room table for 2 years. There, you have to have, look at this. Really, it's really nuts. You really do have to, that's exactly it. You really do have to have the focus so strong that if something comes up in the meantime, you know what, this isn't part of the vision. Having something and especially if that vision aligns with change that you want to see in the world, the motivation, the clarity, all of it, it snaps into place.
What are your thoughts, John, on, I was wondering how that connects to, what we're hearing from last year into this year around the great resignation, or I was reading about it and it was being referred to as the great reset or the great reimagination.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on why that's happening?
Yeah. I mean, it's historically what happens during, like, it's historically what happens during pandemics. And it happened in, what was it, the 1918, 1920, then you have the roaring 20s. Even, throughout history, it's surprisingly common. I mean, pandemics are surprisingly common. I didn't, even like the Black Plague, in the bubonic plague happening, and looking at, what was it, 1200s around in there. Then you have the Renaissance afterwards. I mean, there's some pretty consistent historical patterns that happen. So yeah, if we want to call it the Great Reset, that works. Now's the time to make the moves, and I feel like the pandemic gives people the excuse to make really radical moves. I mean, the word radical comes from the word means root in Latin, radix. So the idea of, like, we get radish from it. So the idea is, like, pull it up by the root. Like, you are making a move that really gets, it's not going to, like grass, you cut it and it's going to grow back. No, like, it's out. Like, what do you need in your life to be out? And pull it up by the roots and do the thing, that you really need to do. This is the time to do that. And, but it's mindfulness. It's hard. It's not easy. You need your support group there. You need your people. You need your people.
My biggest takeaway from what you're saying is that support system for me is also, put your own oxygen mask on first. The mindfulness that you're talking about, you can't serve from an empty vessel. Maybe you need your own coach. I have my own coach.
Get a coach. Yeah, if you aren't working with a coach right now, then yeah, no, you're not fully in it. You have to fully commit. Yeah.
You've got to take care of yourself. And then I was hearing you say, like, keep dreaming big, and then also look for what the opportunity is, or what can you kind of pull out from the roots at this time as you move towards dreaming big.
When there's a clear goal, when there's a clear, okay, this is where I want to be at this point in time. And I was even doing this work this morning, like looking at some of the number of projects that's happening in the organization right now. It's a lot. It's a thing. As my 5-year-old would say, it's a wow. So you're looking at all these things that are happening, and it is completely overwhelming without a clear idea of, this is this clear specific goal that we want to get at, and there's a number to it. There is a clearly measurable yes or no. It starts not only to clarify where you want to be, but then the order of operation and the order of importance of all the other projects that need to fall into place. And that all of this is working well when there are things that you thought, maybe this is something that I need to do, when you realize, no, this is not the thing that needs to happen right now. This is the thing that can wait till later. When you start saying, these are things that can wait till later, that's you're winning. When you're looking at your vision and you're thinking, okay, that's the next most important thing, and with clarity that's the next most important thing, you're winning. When that goal makes you feel more excited and hopeful in the present tense, you're winning. And if you start to add and do a lot of these things and understand this goal is so important that I am willing to go through the hard things. I'm willing to feel miserable. I'm willing to feel rejected. I am willing to not be happy. Those are big things. Like, I'm willing to put myself in situations where I am uncomfortable and realize I might not know everything about this. And I can be humble and learn and gain more knowledge and realize I don't need to. yeah, I mean, to put yourself in positions where you're not necessarily the expert for the sake of a larger mission is heroic. And I feel like that to me is what the pandemic, like people who are really moving forward the fastest, that's what I'm trying to do. Like, I feel like I'm trying to put myself in places where what does the organization need right now to flourish and thrive, even though there is intense pressures. It's not fun. I am sick of a lot of the stuff that's happening. But what are you gonna do? You know? So yeah, those are my thoughts on it, Raj.
Thank you, John. It was really inspiring. I'm going to
Oh,
review some of my vision. Yeah, got some food for thoughts there. I was having some coaching questions there. Yeah, thank you. Do we have time for another question? What are
let's
your
do it.
thoughts?
Let's do it.
Okay, it's all connected, so it's perfect. So, with all of that and what we've been talking about, do you think the pandemic then is going to increase the demand for health and wellness coaching services specifically?
Absolutely. Yes. It already has. It already has. And I don't think it's a trend that is only going to accelerate.
Great time to be a coach then.
That's it. Yeah. Full stop. Yes. Yes. And get trained for real. Like go, it's, if your health board is going to be the future of coaching credentialing in the health and wellness field. So we Coach Training EDU recently went through the approval process. We got approved. Yay! Woo.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. And it was something that's been on our developmental roadmap for years, and it feels good to knock it off the list. Exactly the kind of stuff that you want to get done during a pandemic is the things that, roll up your sleeves and do the sometimes not so fun admin work of pulling all these pieces together with the understanding that this is going to make you stronger as an organization. It has made us stronger as an organization, and we now have health board accreditation, health board approval, which means that coaches who are health board accredited when they sit for the exam, there are certain insurances that are taking codes to get paid from the insurance company as a coach. That's huge.
It's a big deal. It's exciting.
Big thing for the industry. So when this happens, then other aspects of it will probably catch up. I think that this is something that in the executive world, I don't know what the equivalent of this would be in the executive world. I think the ICF has really owned the executive space, but the health and wellness space, this is a whole new territory. And the executive world does look to what's happening in health and wellness for its cues on the next steps to take. So I'm feeling more hopeful now about the coaching industry than ever before. I'm just waiting until it percolates more into education, which seems to be the slow plodding dinosaur of what it's designed to be, but it will get there. Education will get there.
So that the adversity and some of the challenges that people have been through has for coaching, I think there's brought that awareness, hasn't there? And we've talked about this before, even in exec world that I'm in. I think more and more organizations have recognized the need to have coaching services, health and wellness services, especially with all the remote working that's taking place. How do they build connections? We talked about how do they take care of their employees, and I think I mentioned to you before, or people might have heard. I mean, I had so much coaching and so much work that I did in 2020. I did a lot in 2021. Might have been why I dropped a little bit at the beginning of 2022. So there's the message again: take care of yourself. It's a great opportunity, isn't it, now to talk more and more about coaching?
I think to me, the market is getting more, there's more awareness in the market now than there was. Like each year, there's always more awareness. When I first started in 2003, 2004, you say life coach and people looked at you like, dude, what is that? Like, there's no, that's not real. That's not real. You're just making that up. And now it's not that it's not real. I don't get that as much. It's a little surprising, but now the response is more, that's amazing. Like, that's really interesting. I would like to learn more about that. That's what I hear a lot now, just in the non-coaching community. And the coaching community itself, there's more awareness now of, finding a credentialed program. That's happening more than ever. I think there are more credentialed programs out there, which I think is useful for the field. And it's here to stay. Coaching is here to stay.
Yeah.
It's not going to go away. It's only going to increase. So
definitely a lot less stigma. I know I've experienced that. Now it's people are more curious, aren't they? If I say I'm a life coach, and not that I wasn't saying it with pride before. Yeah, years ago I did expect a bit more of a stigma, and when I was in the UK, but now people are like, oh wow, they want to know more. It's something to be really proud of, I think. I love it.
Yeah, it helps. If it helps, I hope people listening can hear the tangible benefit of a coach. If you aren't working with one, you're leaving around 20-30% of your own things unachieved, and you can get by with that. It's not like coaching is absolutely essential. It is, though, something that can boost your own productivity by about 20-30%. And what I would do, just for everyone listening, what I've been doing and what increasingly doing, is refining that vision of, this is where I want to be, in different incremental, I think 3 month little chunks that are great. As an organization, we're doing 9 months. We're looking out to September. We're planning backwards from September. You just find whatever time frame makes sense, and then work backwards to basically vision plan. And then whenever you have that, then you just create structures around yourself. Like, you have to find ways to remind yourself constantly of that place where you want to be, and what you're after, what you're really trying to achieve, and the meaning behind it. That's a constant thing. And if you can find ways to integrate that into your daily routines, both morning, during the day, evening, find ways to express gratitude, that's just best practice.
Thank you, John. It looks like we're on time. So
We are. This has been lovely, Raj. It's great to have you back. And thank you, everyone, for listening to these. I am really enjoying these. We're going to keep these going. And this has been another Q&A Coaching and Flourish podcast. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.